SCB Global is more than just a collaboration company. We are connecting businesses around the world with one conversation at a time. Welcome to the Team Me Up podcast.
Hello, and welcome to Team Me Up podcast and videocast. This is your host, Nabeel Mahmood with SCB Global. Well, today I've got the opportunity of launching our first video feed as well as our podcast, and I'm joined with our CEO, Saif Ahmed from the United Kingdom. Saif, thank you very much for taking the time to join us today.
Hello, Nabeel. Thank you for having me. Great to see you, and I'm looking forward to having a chat today.
Absolutely. Well, so let's, for the sake of our audience, let's start with SCB's history. How did you get started, and what's our core unique value proposition?
Sure. The company started way back in 2004. Back then, we were doing mainly voice interconnects and voice carrying from one destination to another, like typical VoIP wholesale operations. Of course, voice was very big back then, and the market exploded. Over time, we saw towards the 2010s or thereabouts, there was a lot more requirement from the enterprise and the business community to move on from ISDN and the previous generation of voice products that they had primarily on site. So we embarked on a program to offer not just SIP, but also cloud telephony systems back then. And the market grew. We grew with the market, and it was great. However, for me, I saw that there was a lot of saturation. There were many players in the market offering the same products, and that was great for the customers. But really, there was very little innovation. There was very little new products and new features until what I felt was a market changer, game changer, in around about 2017 with Microsoft Teams. And for us, we said to ourselves at that time, we're going to be part of this program. Microsoft Teams will be the new de facto collaboration system. But in the meantime, that's still 5 years back. We became a Microsoft partner in 2018. We made various different propositions at that time, and we grew our business slowly until the pandemic. It's only then that, of course, Microsoft Teams exploded, people working from home. We know the history. It really was a major catapult for us in those 2 years from 2020. Oh, that was 3 years ago, believe it or not. Time flies. So that catapulting has not stopped. It has not stopped. Since then, we've been growing 3 figures per year. We've been hiring staff, almost doubling per year. And we haven't stopped, and we don't see ourselves stopping. Our growth doesn't seem to be affected by the current market and the downturn. Now, I'm not saying we will not be affected at all. Of course, we will be. We're part of the market. Everybody knows that the global economic outlook is not very great. Many companies are laying off, whether tech or banking or industry or whichever sector. There are layoffs. There are people being, the jobs have been cut, which means, of course, we will be affected at some point. But currently, we haven't been affected. We're still growing, and we're still growing, at a 3-figure percentage sum. So, yeah, that's where we have come from and where we are today.
Oh, that's absolutely phenomenal. I think one of the things that, we need to highlight is that we are not just a fly-by or a company that started yesterday or COVID started the business. I mean, we've got a long history. We started in 2004, roughly. Is that correct? I mean, you and I have got a long history. I mean, we met, in 2001, I believe,
no,
give or take?
It was 2004, actually.
Oh, it was? Yeah.
2003, okay. 2004. February, this time. So we're looking at 19 years ago.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes. Yeah. It's been a long time.
You didn't have any gray at the back then.
I did not. Anyhow, so 19 years being in the business in telephony. I mean, that's massive when we compare ourselves with our competitors for the likes of, Ring and others, 8x8, not to drop names here. What do you think is our unique value proposition? What makes us better
Sure.
than our competitors?
Yeah, I think the history is an immense part of what we are and who we are today. And it cannot be discounted. It cannot be left behind because we have effectively grown up with the voice world, the modern, the voice version 3. Now, we have embarked on version 4, which is the modern communication and collaboration system, such as Microsoft Teams. But prior to that, the SIP world and voice over IP world, we have mastered, we have connected, we have networked, we have done everything there was to do around that type of voice technology. And we've been doing that for good 15 years minimum until we became what we became today, a pioneering Microsoft Teams and collaboration partner of Microsoft. So essentially, those years has given us immense knowledge, and we retain today those knowledge. Most of the people who are around back then are still with us today. And any potential customer or partner, they will benefit from our years of knowledge that we have built up. And even though today we're saying what we're offering is beyond the voice, ultimately it's a collaboration suite, and not just the voice, but the messaging and contact center, communication, and many things that we're offering today in Teams. Voice is still there. Voice is not going away. So I think the immense history that we have will definitely be of help to any partner or customer of ours.
Absolutely. You earlier brought up 2017 was sort of like a turning point for us as an organization. And Microsoft and partnering up with Microsoft was a massive undertaking and a massive risk, knowing Microsoft's history, right? I mean, before Teams, they had Link, they had Skype, and multiple other collaboration platforms that they had tried to bring forth. And for a company that's involved in telephony and telco, that was a massive undertaking. How did you get past the hurdle whereby you believed that this was going to be the next generation of communication and collaboration platform?
Yeah, good question, actually, because as you've rightly said, there was prior to the Office OCS, I think, the first version. Then it was Link. Then it was Skype for Business. So Microsoft had different iterations of what we have today, although it was much more simpler, more voice-centric back then. The turning point and the important thing for me and the team here was this is an extension of the Microsoft Office, the core, the bread and butter, the very thing that everybody uses day in, day out throughout the world. And I think roughly 75% of the Office users out there, Office as in business Office users out there, use Microsoft Office. So if this Teams was going to be an extension of that, that to me was the pivotal point to say, this is going to be a winner. This is going to work. This will be successful. Sure, there was a risk, but in business, we will have to take a risk. But in our view at the time, we had backed the best potential winner in terms of collaboration. And again, I cannot underestimate the Microsoft Office suite played within this decision, which I'm sure is similar to the decision Microsoft made by releasing Teams.
Indeed. Now, at that point in time, I mean, the core collaboration platform from an enterprise point of view was really Cisco WebEx, Cisco Telephony, so on and so forth. The likes of Zoom did not exist back then. Did you think about being that competitor? Did you think about being that brand whereby we could have been that Teams platform for collaboration? Was there a strategic thought process that you went through to partner up with the likes of Microsoft and Microsoft Teams versus starting another collaboration platform?
Sure. Because at the time, the established players were such as Ring, 8x8, and others, and Cisco, of course. For us, it was very important not to release or be part of a collaboration suite or a voice product that was similar to what was out there in the market, because those products have been around for many years. There was substantial saturation within market for those products. And what was important is that this was going to be the next generation, which is why we call it Generation 4, the fourth generation. It's beyond the previous third generation of voice over IP product. So I don't believe the other competitive landscape incorporates the fourth generation product, as we call it, the way collaboration is done within Microsoft Teams, Microsoft Office. And of course, I believe at some point, Teams will be your desktop, maybe within 3-4 years. So therefore, if Teams is going to be a desktop for an everyday business user, then naturally, this will be the central pivotal point that everyone will be doing their work from. And therefore, this collaboration suite will be an essential part of that user. So that was a major reason why we wanted to be part of a game-changing, new, innovative collaboration suite, rather than release something else that was similar to what was already out there in the market. And we didn't want to cannibalize what was in the market. We wanted to be part of something that was beyond the market, as modern as it seemed like back then. And today we think is a normal thing to have Microsoft Teams to help us collaborate between our different departments in different countries. Like, for example, you're in Hawaii right now, right?
Yeah, currently in Hawaii.
Yeah, you're in Hawaii. I'm in London. I'm also in Zanzibar quite often, and I speak to the different team members of SCB in different parts of the world. Everybody is everywhere, and we have no downtime. We have no barrier to conduct our business in any way whatsoever, because we have this highly collaborative, efficient system, Microsoft Teams and the Office suite. Now, I know we are a partner of Microsoft, and naturally I will say good things about it, but I have heard many good things about it from non-partners or non-Microsoft partners. I've heard good things about it from competitors, that this is a game changer because people are used to using the Microsoft tools such as the Office suite, and this is part of that. So we cannot underestimate, I believe, how much of a game changer this system is. And I'm so happy that we took the right decision, and we're part of it now.
Join the revolution. Find out more at scb-global.com.